welcome to the Kitchen Knitter podcast. My name is Suzanne and this is my little corner of YouTube where I show you what I've been knitting and sewing. Today is Sunday, the 30th of July. It's about I don't know why I'm guessing, I've got my watch on, 20 past 1, and it is a very grey day here in the northwest. We've had a bit of rain, the sun came out for a nanosecond and now it's all clouded over again and it's a bit grey. However, so I have come on quickly. I wanted to podcast tomorrow, but because I thought I might have a bit more to show you, having spent the afternoon and evening doing a bit of knitting, but we are having some work done on the roof, which involves scaffolding and ladders, and it's going to be noisy and clanky. So I thought, well, I'll come on quickly now, and I can come again on maybe Friday or Saturday of next weekend and show you more progress, hopefully. So first of all, this is a finished object. This is my Sophie scarf, which I'm probably not modelling properly, but it's actually very warm. It's boiling actually, and it's not too itchy. You can definitely feel it on your skin. I suppose that's the alpaca in it. It's merino, and no, I don't even know if it's merino. It just says wool on the ball band. It's Sanders Garn alpaca wool, which I think it's a 60-40 mix. I haven't got the ball band, so I can't remember of wool and alpaca. But it's very, very soft, and I have no idea what the colour is. It was a number, but I would describe this as a kind of a dove grey. It's coming up looking a bit greeny, doesn't it? Greeny grey, but it's like a dove grey. So, and it's absolutely enormous. This is wound once, twice, 3 times around my neck with a bit left to tuck in. And doesn't need any introduction. It's the Sophie shawl, and I made the bigger one. There's 3 sizes, small, medium and large, and I made the large one, and it's enormous. But I haven't blocked it, so it's still got wibbly wobbly stitches. I'm not sure I will block it actually. I'm not sure I've got the floor space, but I enjoy making it. It's got the I-cord edging. Just really liked it. You increase and then you decrease. It's but you as soon as you get your required amount of stitches, you start decreasing. And I can't remember who I watched now, who made the Sophie shawl, but decided to do a panel, a section just straight, and then started the decreasing because she thought it was more comfortable around her neck. But I didn't do that. I as I say, I follow patterns, recipes slavishly. So I just did everything. I didn't do any modifications. My modifications and mistakes, but I didn't make any mistakes. You have to I have to concentrate on it, because I would forget to do the increases and the decreases, because I'm not very good at reading my knitting, and I found it difficult to find the last increase or decrease. It seems to meld into the garter stitch, which is a good thing, but I had to put, I tried to do it with bulb pins, and it didn't work for me. Writing it down, bit of paper and pencil, and the number of rows and ticking them off as I go, and that worked for me. So this is my finished object, my Sophie shawl. It's a pattern, and everybody knows this one, but it's a pattern by Petite Knit. It's a paid for pattern, and there's a small, medium and large version. And I used the wool that the pattern called for. There were 2 alternatives on the pattern, and I used one of the suggestions, and because I think I watched I can't remember, it's my memory, a podcast, and it was a pattern designer. I think it might have been Laura from Penrose Knits, and she was looking, I think she'd been sent some yarn, or she'd bought some yarn, but she was looking at the yarn and deciding what she was going to design with it. And I think it's, so for me, that's the obvious thing, is to use what they've designed the garment around. Maybe it doesn't always work like that, but it sort of stuck with me, that, and I thought, yeah, you know, they've taken the yarn and they've thought, what can I knit with this? What can I design with this? And that's what I do. That's what I do. It may not happen like that all the time. I'm not a knitwear designer or a pattern writer, but it just, because they kind of know what they're doing and I don't, I'll go with them. Anyway, that's my Sophie shawl. It'll be lovely in the winter. And the next object, well, it's a half-finished object, is my Sandown socks, a pattern by Maya Davis from the Wool Barn. And this is yarn from the Wool Barn. The pattern showed a colourway called Sandown socks, but it had been sold out when I finally got to buying some, printing, you know, buying the pattern and choosing the yarn. So this is from the Wool Barn, and it's called Mist, and that's the, if you can, it's better on that thing. I've sort of steam blocked this on the blockers this morning when I was doing some ironing, so it's not great, but that's the pattern. And I do like, I think I said this before, I do like a pattern up here, and then I can, because I get into a pickle keeping the pattern correct and doing the decreases. It's okay when I'm doing the, because I knit my socks on 9-inch circulars, so I have to take, I do the Winnick Mum method, and I then put the yarn for the heel flap and gusset onto DPNs and use them like knitting needles, and then put them all back onto the circular needle when I've come to start the decreases. It's all on this, so I get into a bit of a pickle trying to keep the yarn, the pattern correct, and the decreases correct as well. So I was knitting, I think I showed you last time, I was knitting, it was the socks from the Sock Society, Curious Handmaids, the latest one, and I'd got into a right pickle. I frogged it, I've taken it back, I got into a right pickle, I lost, the pattern had a twisted stitch running up in sections, and I lost a whole twisted stitch section on either side when I was doing the decreases. How, I have no idea, but of course that my stitch count would have been out then, wouldn't it? So and I also like a pattern sock in a tonal yarn. I think I'm going to knit my variegated yarns just as vanilla socks, so that, you know, it lets the pattern, the yarn sing, and then with a tonal yarn you can really see the pattern. Twinset and Pearls have released a new pattern, and that's got a pattern up here, a very pretty pattern. It's one of the Bridgerton characters, is it? I can't remember who I can't remember, is it Lady, I want to say Lady Danbury, but I don't think, I haven't watched Bridgerton. I did think about watching it, and my daughter said, no, it's not for you, Mum. So I think it's a bit racy. It's not Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility. Anyway, so I haven't watched it yet. I shouldn't let them put me off, should I? I should make my own decision, but I haven't watched it yet. But there's a new, and the pattern on this latest sock, I haven't got it with me. If when I find it, I'll put it up here if I can. You're not really here, but anyway, I'll put it up. And it's gorgeous. It's a paid for pattern, but there's a lovely pattern here, and then a little bit of the pattern is put just at the top of the toe, and it's really lovely. And I think they used a yarn from the Botanical Yarn Company. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I might have a little look at that. But I've actually got plenty of sock yarn. I really don't need any more sock yarn. She says, having bought some more sock yarn this week. Anyway, that's my. I did think I've started the other one, the other sock, and I've only got the rib. Nothing very exciting. As if this is exciting, but it's not very exciting. I did think I might do some, at least have a bit of the second one to show you as well. You know, that I was doing. I was doing the second one if proof were needed, and yeah. So I'll hopefully have a pair next time I podcast, which I'm hoping to do next weekend. So that's my Sandown socks from the Wool Barn, Maya Davies. Lovely pattern, really nice pattern. And the other thing I want to knit, I was watching an Instagram notification came up for an update for Bird Street Yarn, and I didn't get to the update straight away, but then John did, I'm not sure if it was a reel or it was a short or whatever. Anyway, he was doing a quick show of the yarns that he'd curated for the latest Stephen West shawl, and it is this one called the Parallel Wrap. Now I look at Stephen West shawls and think they're wearable art, and they're not something I probably would wear. It's the fussy isn't the word, but I think there's too much going. I like quite plain things, not too fussy, not too heavily patterned, things like that, and a bit boring really, but a bit like today. It's a camber dress in a linen from Merchant and Mills, and I can't remember, French. No, it's not French. No, can't remember. It's one of their core ones. Actually, I'll put the thing up there because I've got the samples of their core linens, which I use a lot of. And this is just a Brora cardigan. I want to knit some more cardigans. This is a little Brora, useful little cardigan. It's a linen and cotton thing. It's been done on a machine though. Anyway, I digress. So I want to knit this shawl. I think I could cope with that shawl, and I think I could cope wearing it too. So watching John with putting these, it's 7 skeins, putting these 7 colours together. They were just beyond beautiful. They were gorgeous, and I really liked the first 7 that he showed you. And then as you watch the video, he takes one out and puts another one in, takes one and sort of changes the. He brings in a couple of blues, which I think it's called sea glass and teal, and it changes it, not dramatically, just ever so slightly, if blues were your thing. But the first ones that he showed, I just thought, oh, they're fabulous. So I went onto the website and I chose all the colours apart from, there's one called Crema, and it's the coffee in their coffee collection, and that was the only colour that, as he was showing all the different selections, he never took Crema out. And when I got to the website, his shop, Crema was sold out. So I had all the others in my basket. So I quickly messaged him and said, I've got these in a basket. Crema has sold out. What would you use as an alternative? Because I'm hopeless at putting colours together. I'm never satisfied with what I choose. So but he got back to me really quickly and said, I've just put Crema back in the shop. So I whizzed over and I bought it and put it. I bought 7 skeins to do the Parallel Wrap. So I'm going to join the Stephen West gang, and albeit very late, and I'm going to knit that. I'm not going to have a go at it. I'm going to knit it. I haven't looked at the pattern. I haven't read the pattern through, so I have no idea. But I'm just looking at the pattern. I'm thinking, I think I could cope with that. I think so. So that's it for knitting. I haven't done any sewing. Oh, that's not true. I made my little grandson a drawstring bag to keep his little superheroes in. He collects these little, he's only 3. They're little like Spider-Man and Batman, but they're only about that size. And he's got quite a few. So so I thought, well, I've got some superhero. I made him a sun hat out of Batman, and who I thought was Superman, but no, Spider-Man. Turns out it was Superman. The clue was in the name, the big S on his chest. Because I think I might have said this before. I messaged Sophie saying, I've got this material, but I said, Superman's not wearing his mask. Spider-Man's not wearing his mask. And Sophie texts back saying, that's because it's Superman, Mum. So I've got some of that material left. So I did I'll put a picture in here of this drawstring bag, and he's absolutely delighted with it. I sent it off, and he's absolutely delighted with it. So the fabric was Batman, and then the Superman, Spider-Man, Superman at the top, and a drawstring. And he's thrilled with it, thrilled. The other thing I've been buying, I went to my knitting group last week. It's my local yarn shop, and these were hanging up in my eye line, and I thought, wow, I particularly like that one. And this is yarn from Knit Pro Symphony, and they are hand dyed in India, and it's merino, 75% merino, 20% nylon, but it's very soft, it's gorgeous. But I just think these colours are absolutely gorgeous. And this one is called Black Sand, gorgeous. And you get what's the meterage? That's what I'm looking for. It's 100 grams, 380 meters long. So that's good. That's lovely. It's not. I don't think there's as much meterage, but it's 100 gram skein. So perhaps it's a little. I'm not very good. I don't know, but perhaps it's a little thicker. I'm not sure. So I got that one, and I got this one, and this isn't not normally something I would choose, but I think they'd make absolutely beautiful socks as a present. The colours are just gorgeous. The greens and there's blues, and I think there's a bit of brown. Hard to describe. This one is called Wilderness. Just gorgeous. So those were my purchases this week. Like I said, I don't need any more sock yarn, so you go and buy more sock yarn, don't you? Anyway, these are nice. These are nice. So that's it. So I've got my yarn coming for the parallel play wrap. I'm not telling you properly. It's the parallel play wrap. Gorgeous. And it's got an I-cord edge. Well, I know I can do an I-cord edge now. We'll see. Anyway, I'm determined to do it. I'll just struggle on if I can't see. It's a lot simpler than some of his shawls. So we'll see. I'm rambling now. So that's it. I'll put a picture in of all my. I'm not going to do any more sewing now. I want to get. I'm pointing here because there's a basket. So I'm going to have a look at that and decide what I'm going to do. And we'll see. I've got to sort that out, because apart from anything else, it's beginning to annoy me that it's there in a basket, not moving, and some of the things in there I really want to wear. I'm working on the that grey Kim Hargreaves pattern from an old Rowan magazine. I'm carrying on with that, but again, it's all in pieces, and I've got 2 sleeves and a back, and I'll show it to you when I've finished it. I still can't decide. I'm saying I've got 2 sleeves. I'm finishing the second sleeve, and then I've got to decide whether I want to make the cardigan or the jumper. I actually think the cardigan might be more useful than the jumper, because I think that, if I remember rightly, the jumper, looking for the pattern, the jumper is a V-neck, so it's a bit difficult to wear with dresses, isn't it? I don't wear, why did I say trousers? I don't wear trousers. So I think that is everything that I wanted to either show you or tell you about. So I've got a good base for a podcast in a week's time to show you some finished objects, or nearly finished objects. Sort of a dent in that basket. A dent, maybe. We'll see. Well, thank you for watching. And since my last podcast, I've had quite a few new subscribers, and that's lovely. Thank you very much. And podcasters are now saying, you know, well, if you like what you've seen, please subscribe, and then it helps. I don't fully understand how these things work, but apparently it helps your channel to grow, to get out to more people, which would be lovely. And yes, I think I'm nearly at 800 subscribers, so that's amazing. That's amazing, and thank you again. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will be back in a week with, as I've said out loud, a bit more progress. Take care.